I think now's a good time to start the webinar. Thanks everybody who has joined us so far. I very much look forward to giving you guys a Nexford virtual tour. I'll start with sharing my screen. All right, I believe all of you can see my screen now. So before I get started though, I'd just like to introduce myself. My name is Mai and I'm a Nexford Advisor. I've been with Nexford University for over 2 years now, and during that time, I have spoken with so many aspiring learners around the world. We're talking about over 80 countries around the world, which is the global Nexford learner community so far. So I've spoken with so many people, and during that time, I would say one of the most common questions we get is, how exactly will I be learning online? Some of you might have already tried online learning before. For some of you, it might also be completely new. I'd like to tell you that the Nexford learning experience is quite unique. It may be different than anything you've tried before. And this is exactly why we're here today, to show you, why it's different or how it's different, and that it isn't as hard as you might think to study online. So with that, I also have on board with me today one of our faculty members, Dr. Michael Rodriguez, who is actually based in the Philippines. If you could also please introduce yourself, Dr. Michael.
Hi everyone, good evening here from the Philippines. I'm Dr. Michael Rodriguez and I'm with Nexford University for a year and a half. I teach with top universities here in the Philippines as well, and international speakers in Asia, and teaching BBA and MBA courses here in Nexford University. And what Mai has mentioned, this learning experience is quite different. This is something out of the traditional way on how we deliver online learning. So I'm excited to share more of this with you. And I'm looking forward to meeting with you in the online learning environment. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thanks, Michael. So with that, let's get started. And just a final note for those who are just joining in, don't worry, we're just getting started. And you're also going to be sent a recording of this webinar, once it's ready. Also, if you have any questions, please make sure to send them in the Q&A section, and we're going to get to them after the virtual. All right, so what I'm sharing here on my screen today is the homepage, actually, of the Nexford online learning platform. So we call it Nexly, which is short for the Nexford Learning Environment. And this is what you're going to get very familiar with. This will be hopefully your new best friend once you start learning with us at Nexford. This is where you're going to sign on all the time. It's the homepage. And I will start to tell you a bit about the different features in the homepage here. So first of all, on the left side, you're going to find what we call the navigation pane. So of course, there's a home button, so you can always toggle back to the home page. You'll have a locker where you can even upload your own files and keep them there. You even have a circle where you can add friends and professors, and always have an overview of the courses that you are enrolled in. At the bottom, you're going to find some shortcuts for extra, resources and benefits you get as a Nexford learner, which I will actually get into a bit later in the call. Let's go to the right side here. You're going to find a calendar. So if I click on this, it's going to take me to this full calendar page. And as you can see, some of these are actually, all of them are color coded depending on, what the actual reminder or the event belongs to, which course. So of course, you can also add your own. So this can be reminders for assignments. It can be anything you like. You can make it as descriptive as you want. You can set it up to repeat, and so much more. And most importantly, at the bottom here, you're going to find a share button. So what this allows you to do is actually download this calendar onto your PC or your laptop, as well as your mobile phone. So this way, you're always connected no matter what device you're on. You can, stay on track with any reminders you need for your. All right, and one final thing as well, you're going to be able to see that you can also change the view in the calendar. So this is quite as dynamic as any calendar you might have used before. Okay, back to the homepage. You also have a to-do list if you want to look at your events in that way. You'll also find an online chat section. So what this allows you to actually send a private message or actually have a live chat with anyone who's currently online. So this can be, a learner, it can even be a success advisor, it can be a faculty member. So we have a global community so far from over 80 countries around the world. So we really recommend this. For some of them, they might have toggled the live chat option off, but you'll see the option to sometimes live chat with them. You can even click on them, and some of them will even fill their profile, as you would too. Of course, I'm not an expert learner, so you might be seeing the word demo everywhere, as well as demo learner at the top right. Normally, this is where your name would be, and if I were to click on that, you'll find a profile, which you have, of course, complete liberty to fill whether with a picture or some bio or information about yourself, which you'll find other learners have done. So we really encourage you to reach out when you get the chance, whether it's a chat or a live message, private message, and you can really connect with or network with these other, individuals from around the world that are learning at Nexford as well. Okay, we also have an announcement section here. I will explain that a little bit later in the call as well. But one of the most important tools on the homepage and in any page you actually go to in the Nextly, the Nexford Learning environment, is this Ask NXU tool at the bottom right. So if you click on that, you'll find that this is what we call our virtual advisor. So if you haven't happened to see this information already on our website, or you haven't been told this information from somebody in our team, you might already know that you would be assigned a personal or dedicated success advisor once you get enrolled at Nexford. So this is a person who can serve as your coach or your mentor, right, during your program. We'll get to that a little bit later on, but the success advisor is someone you can reach out to if you have any questions during your program. But if ever you have a question that you feel you don't necessarily need to reach out to your success advisor for, I would truly recommend this tool. You'll find this answers a lot of our FAQs. So any common questions you might get that are quite basic and quite easy to get the answer to, you'll find it. For example, you want to find out what the orientation is all about. So if you just type that out, you'll find, the common questions about that, and as well as some, screenshots to make it easier for you. And if at any point the answer available doesn't quite give you the information that you were looking for, you'll even find at the bottom who else you can reach out to for further help. So yeah, I really recommend you don't forget about this Ask NXU. All right, moving along, you'll see in the middle here, this is an overview of the courses that you would be enrolled in at Nexford. So can you enroll in more than one course at the same time? The answer would be yes. So you can definitely go at a sort of slower, regular pace if you desire and just take one course at a time. Or you can go at a more accelerated pace and take up to even 3 or 4 courses at the same time. So currently what I have an example of here is being enrolled in 4 courses at the same time. You're always going to find them in the homepage here, as well as what your progress is in each course so far. If you scroll to the bottom, you'll find NXU orientation as well as writing lab. So these two aren't specifically courses that are in the chosen program at Nexford. Writing lab is something I will explain a bit later. As for the orientation, let me show you how that. So the NXU orientation sort of serves as your welcome package as soon as you get enrolled at Nexford. So let's say you just got enrolled and you are set to start on December 1st. Once you're already, applied and you're enrolled in everything, 5 days before December 1st or your chosen program start date, you should receive access to our online platform, so Nextly, as well as the NXU orientation. So you'll be asked to take the NXU orientation 5 days before you even start your program. And you'll see that it includes 3 modules, as well as an introduction and a closing. So for every course at Nexford, there are actually 6 modules that you will need to complete. And as for the orientation, you'll see that there are only 3 because, like I said, this isn't actually a course within your program. It's just a welcome package. So what the orientation is all about, it gives you everything you need to know, to get started at Nexford, how to reach out to faculty, to success advisors, to get any help, how to navigate through the online platform. It's going to tell you all about our different policies, course deadlines, and so much more. So this will equip you with everything you need to be able to succeed and go through your program. And you'll see, like I said, this only has 3 modules. A good note to make is that at Nexford, for any course, you need to complete 1 module first before going on to the next module. So you'll only be able to access the next module or unlock it once you've completed the module before that. All right, and with that, I want to show you just the introduction here of the NXE orientation, how it's going to look like. So once you start the orientation, of course, you'll get a sort of a welcome message from from Nexford. It's going to tell you what's to expect in this orientation. And right from the start, you even get a welcome message from Fadil Tarzi, which is Nexford's founder and CEO. You'll find a video from him here. I would like to play this for you guys just for a few seconds.
It's been said that the future is a convenient place for dreams, so why not dream big? I've always known education changes lives, but I first realized its impact over a decade ago. On my entrepreneurial journey, I saw a gap between the skills of college graduates and the needs of employers. With my own startups, I struggled to find people with the right competencies. For example, I couldn't find a software engineer with effective communication skills. I couldn't find the creative designers who could plan. I thought to myself, is this...
Okay, so that's just a little sneak peek. Hopefully you can watch it in its entirety if you do enroll at Nexford. So if you scroll to the bottom, you'll find that you can even email the CEO directly if you have any feedback or anything you would like to discuss with our founder. And this sort of comes to show how transparent the whole Nexford team is. We consider ourselves truly the Nexford family. Once you're enrolled at Nexford, you'll pretty much get acquainted with so many different people in our, in our global community, in our team, whether that's our marketing team, our billings, our success advisors, or faculty, and so much more. And so that even includes the CEO. So for every video in our courses, you'll find that you have the option to also download a written transcript, which might be really, making it easier for other people. And I'd like to also mention that, as you can see, this is a video, right? So this is a small example of the different dynamic elements through which you're going to be studying at Nexford. So it's not a lot of text, you'll find also videos, you'll find audio clips, you'll find resources that take you to blog length articles, even outside of the Nextly, or the Nexford learning environment or the platform, and so much more. You'll even find discussion forums where you can also interact with other learners about certain topics within modules in your courses. Okay, and as you scroll through the module of this orientation, you'll see that we are telling you more about all the programs that Nexford currently has to offer, as well as our specializations. You'll learn everything about our courses, when to enroll, what the deadlines are, what the syllabus is all about. So actually, for every course at Nexford, you can download a syllabus. So that's a written form of all the key points that you're going to go through during this specific course or module. So once you're done actually with the orientation, as you scroll to the bottom, we actually recommend, we'll encourage you to actually post in our discussion forum. As you can see, when you finish posting your introduction to the discussion forum, you're ready for module 1. So what is the discussion forum? I'd like to show you guys. So this is a place you're going to be able to access in a lot of courses for the orientation, though. It's a place where we really recommend that you, introduce yourself to the community. It's a great place to tell everybody a bit about yourself. For this learner, for example, he wrote a lot about himself. He even put his social media profile, even put a photo, and so much more. So you'll find that a lot of learners from around the world also happen to be commenting and engaging with him. And this is a great way to really introduce yourself to our community. All right, let's go back to the homepage here. So that is the orientation for you guys. Of course, you will be able to see it in its entirety 5 days before your chosen program start date. And with that, I just want to tell you a bit about the world of business. So let's say this is the course that you're about to start at the beginning of next month. And before you even start, you'll be able to have an overview of the courses that is included, in this, the modules that are included in this course. And if you want to figure out who your professor is actually going to be, you can even toggle to the welcome tab here. Like I mentioned earlier, you'll always have the ability to download a syllabus for every course. But most importantly, if you scroll to the bottom, this is where you're going to see who the faculty member or the professor for this course is actually going to be. You'll even find a special email address, which is what you can send your questions to regarding this specific course. And you can even book a one-on-one meeting with this professor. So with that, as you can see, the professor actually for this course is Dr. Michael. So I would love for Dr. Michael here to talk a little bit about the world of business.
Hello, everyone. Good evening once again. I'm seeing some of my friends who are attending today's session or tonight's session. Thank you so much, guys. And now I would be discussing to you the Business 2125 or the world of business. So this is actually one of the core courses for BBA program, but I also teach some courses in the MBA program. So what Mai has actually mentioned here is that we have here the welcome page. So if you'd like to set up a one-on-one session with me, that's roughly 15 minutes slot that you can book if you have some questions about the module contents, the course expectations, the assignments, or any other requirements relevant to the course that you are taking. So you can see my information and the link underneath, or the one-on-one booking link, which is synced to our Microsoft Teams account. And at the same time, you have here as well the syllabus where you can actually download. It says here that the world of business introduces the domains of business and the key elements of the functional areas where the organization operates. And then you would also see here, if you'd like to raise a ticket, you'd like to ask some questions, you'd like to send an email, each course has a dedicated email address, and that's going to be the code of the course with the domain at nexford.org. So in this case, the email address for this course is bus2125@nexford.org, and that would be assigned to me by our IT team so that I can assist, or I can definitely see what you're inquiring about. And pretty much I would like to highlight here in my discussion the various assessments and assignments here in BUS 2125 or the world of business. So in your view, in your learners NEXLE platform, you just need to go to your assignments and grades tab, and you would see all of the assignments that you need to comply. All in all, most of the courses have 6 graded assignments. So you would have 3 assignments. So that's going to be the module 1, module 2, and module 4. Those are some of the course assignments that you need to submit. Meanwhile, module 3, module 5, and module 6 are actually project milestone, which have higher percentage of your final grade because these are project milestones, especially the project milestone, or the final project rather. And usually the first module assignment is due 10 days after the course commencement. So usually the course commencement happens on the 1st of each month. So expect that the first assignment would be due by the 10th of the said month that you are enrolled in the course. And after that, you would have an increment of at least 7 days. So you would have 1 assignment due per week. And each course roughly runs for 8 weeks. But like what Mai has said earlier, you can actually go through a fast track wherein you can submit your assignments ahead of time, but be sure to always communicate with your professor so that we can always provide you feedback on how to improve some of, or so that you can improve your assignments moving forward. And you would also notice that there are some ungraded assignments. These are some some assessments that are not really required of you, but you also have the liberty to submit and ask for the feedback of your respective professor. So in this case of the world of business, we only have one ungraded and optional assignment, which is situated in Module 6, which is named as Project Charter Worksheet. This ungraded or optional assignment is actually in preparation for your final project. And we have two platforms wherein you would be able to submit your assignment. It actually depends on the type of assessment that we have for each course. But for Bus 2125, this icon that you could see, which is like a maroon folder with an arrow up, that's actually a Dropbox platform that you could actually submit your assignment to. And then later on, Mai would discuss Turnitin, I guess. So she would discuss Turnitin as one of the platforms where we can turn in our assignments. So for this course, most of the assignments would be uploaded via Dropbox. So I'd like to go to the module 1 first, which is the Choose a Business worksheet. So when you access that, you would see the instruction, the submission, and the rubric. It is always important that you read the instructions very thoroughly, and at the same time, check the rubric. With that, you'd be able to match all of the things that you need to satisfy for you to make sure that you are submitting a quality output. So here the rubrics are written. These are the basis of your grades on how are we going to grade your submission. And then for the submissions here, you would see whether your submission was accepted or not. So if you were able to attach the assignments and then the submission is not reflecting, so that's the time that you can contact your success advisors or the assigned faculty. And going back to our instructions here, you are going to use a worksheet to answer this assignment. So most of the assignments in this course actually have its own respective worksheet, but not all courses have their own worksheet. Some of the assignments in other courses may require you to prepare slide decks, pitch deck, PowerPoint presentation, reports, strategic plan. So it actually depends on the type of course that you are enrolled in. But in this case, I'm showing you a worksheet, which is a Choose a Business worksheet, wherein we are going to analyze the status quo or the current context of an international organization. So let's open that. Okay, so I'm showing you now the 2125 module 1, or the role of business from a global context, or Choose a Business worksheet. So we have here your instructions, and then your step 1 here, we have given you various business websites, which you can use a search engine in searching for the profiles of your preferred business. However, you can still use other outside or external references when if need be. So these are just some samples search engine that you could use, some scholarly websites that you can use to look for the information of your preferred business. And then for step 2, you have here choose your industry sector. So for example, you would choose Google, and then that you have an interest in learning more about or possible using for the course final project. So it means that module 1 is highly connected to your module 2 until module 6, which is your final project. So once you choose a business for module 1, we suggest that you already choose the best business that you like, since you would more likely use that until the end. And then you have here the worksheet proper. You just need to answer these questions and these parts in very substantive and detailed manner. So you just need to put here the industry sector or the name of the company as well. Let's say our example is Google. And then here on the next column, you have here what is the name of the company. You have to be, so you have your industry, and then you would put here the name of the company, which is Google. And then underneath, you would also provide a description of the organization. So you are required to provide a detailed description or the background of the company that you have chosen. And then here you need to answer what interests you what interests you about the company or the sector, or you have to enumerate and discuss the reasons for choosing the company or sector. And in relevance to the course, which is the world of business, as I have mentioned, it analyzes the functional areas of the context where the organization operates. In this column, you need to put here the different functions or departments that you have noticed, or that you have actually saw when you did a research on the organizational chart of the business. So you put here, let's say, human resource, marketing, finance, and pretty much provide a brief description of the role of each functional areas. And then we'd have the mission statement here. Just put the mission statement that you may find in and then another one here, you would need to answer the role that the business plays in the world of business. So this is the time now wherein you would be reflective on how this chosen business impacts the entirety of the business environment. And ultimately, you'd have your reference used. You need to put here the references. So you can use, again, the references or the links which were provided on the previous page of this worksheet. But remember that you would need to cite your references in APA. So APA, you would have separate training for that. You can actually enroll yourselves in the writing lab so that you would be properly oriented on how to use the APA 7th edition. Or you can also keep in touch with your faculty, with your respective faculty, so that we could also help you on how to cite or to use APA citation. And then after you complete that, going back to our platform, so you would click here the prepare another answers, or you would now click this. I think Mai would be discussing how you can turn in an assignment. And then after that, so expect that within 5 days, that's 5 calendar days, that's the maximum that you would wait for the feedback of your professors. But in my case, I definitely ensure that I provide feedback to all of the learners in less than 24 hours so that I can give opportunity for those fast-track learners to proceed with the next module and use the feedback that I have provided to them in preparing for the future assignments. And you would definitely see the detailed feedback and all of the information that you need, and you have the opportunity to reach out to me again if you have other questions related to the feedback or in the future assignments. Mai, that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Michael. All right. So something I'd like to touch up on that Dr. Michael actually mentioned is the deadline. So you might have already read somewhere that we do have a flexible pay structure at Nexford. However, while we do have a flexible pay structure, I'll get into exactly what that means. We do, of course, have a course deadline. So you will have to meet certain deadlines within your course, to submit your assignments, to complete your modules. So I'd like to give you an example of that. So if you go to the Welcome tab of any course and you actually click on the syllabus, we'll take you to this page which will give you, key information about the course you've just enrolled in. So that includes a description, what skills you're expected to learn, after taking this course, as well as a course outline. And as you can see here, it says assignment due date. So there are due dates, of course, for the modules within the course. So while there is a maximum amount of time, that's specifically 8 weeks for every course at Nexford, that's 2 months, which we do believe is more than enough time to complete any course at Nexford. So a lot of our learners do go at a faster pace. You can complete it in 6 weeks, even 4 weeks. And on top of that, you can take more than one course at the same time, which allows you to finish your program much faster, which is what we consider to be the flexible pace structure. So for some people, they might take a course in 2 months. Somebody else might take a course in 1 month. Some people might take 3 or even 4 courses in just 1 month. So for the BBA, for example, which is a Bachelor of Business Administration program we have at Nexford, it has 40 courses that you need to complete. So you can complete that in the average 48 months, which is about 4 years, or you can complete it in 2 years. So we've had a lot of graduates so far who have actually completed their BBA in within 2 years. So this is where your schedule really depends on you. It depends on how many hours you're able to invest studying per day or per week. So I would say giving 10 to 15 hours a week to study your Nexford program would be the best way to really have effective learning during your program. Some people definitely go 30 to 35 hours a week, but no pressure. Like we said, this really depends on your pace. It depends on your goals as well, if you are planning to try to finish your program faster. Another thing to note is that if you're actually able to complete your program faster at Nexford, you would actually pay less in total because you're only paying your tuition fee for the amount of time you're spending studying. So the number of months you were studying at Nexford, not for the the number of courses that you were taking. All right, with that, I would like to talk some more about assignments. So let me give you an example from our MBA course, actually, Business 6070, which is Leadership and Organizational Development. So this is one of the earlier courses that you would be taking within your MBA. So Dr. Michael got to show us a bit about, how worksheets look like. He told us a bit about the very different types of assignments you might be getting, whether it's presentations, whether it's certain worksheets, tables, and so on. So let me show you another thing as well. So you will be facing two different types of assignments during your program. Some are called self-assessments. So these are optional, and they're absolutely optional, which means they're also not being graded. They're really there for you to sort of do a knowledge check, so you can practice, what you've learned so far within your course. We really recommend these. You might find them fun to take. So, for example, for this one, there will always be a link, of course, for you to check, a certain assessment or the activity that you're meant to be doing. And then once you fill that, you can prepare your answer. You'll be given the option to, of course, add the attachment here from your PC or your laptop, and you can save and submit it right away, or you can save and submit it later if you want to have a second look at that. So these are, optional self-assessments. As for the graded assignments, I want to show you an example here, which is a case for change, which is also within the Leadership and Organizational Development course. You'll be given actually two options for this assignment. You can even use a case for change from the organization where you are employed. So a lot of our learners actually sometimes, if they're already working, they apply the assignments that they're taking during their program at Nexford to their job and vice versa. So sometimes they'll be asked, let's say, to do a presentation to the CEO or something. Let's say this could be a type of assignment you're given during your Nexford program. And then when they actually work on the assignment, it's something they actually go and present to their CEO in their job, So I would say sometimes your job can work side by side, definitely, to your program. So in this case here, we're asking you, or we're giving you rather, the option to apply it to the organization where you're currently working. Or of course, you can, apply it to a fictional scenario for Tesla. So we even give you links to learn more about the assignment being given here, and you'll also have a worksheet that you need to fill. So let me show you the worksheet. Nice, sorry about that. So let me share my screen again. Okay, so here's an example of this case for change. It's a template, so it kind of looks like a table over here. You'll be asked to fill in your answers on the right side here. Of course, I'm not an expert learner, as I explained earlier, but I went ahead and pretended to answer this actual assignment, and I submitted it here. So let me show you. So once you submit your assignment, I'll show you the submission over here. Dr. Michael mentioned this earlier, so we have a software also called Turnitin, which is one of the softwares that you're going to be familiar with, and used to using during your program. It's something between you and our professors. It's a great place that sort of, helps in the grading of your assignment. So you'll find that the worksheet is actually applied here on the software. This is how it looks like once you've submitted your assignment. Like I said, I went ahead and pretended to answer this assignment, but you're going to find that it's empty actually on the right side here, but this is where your answers would have been. And then you would be able to see certain comments, from your professor after grading the assignment, something like, good job, or they can even leave certain notes for improvement for you, like this is great, but You could have, it's a bit brief, you could have added more information and so on. All right, and I want to touch up again on the Success Advisor support that I mentioned earlier in the call, on the webinar. So on the homepage here, I had discussed the benefits and the different features, in the shortcut section here in the navigation pane. One of which is the success schedule. So if you click on that, it's going to take you actually to this scheduling or booking page where you can actually book an advising session for 30 minutes with any success advisor. So this can be the success advisor that you have actually been assigned once you start your program. Like I mentioned, you will be assigned a personal and dedicated success advisor in the first, about 3 months of your program. So just in the beginning, does this mean you will no longer have the same support as you go along your program? Definitely not, because you will have 24/7 support from our team. So this can be our full success team. It can be course faculty as well, such as Dr. Michael. It can be our tech team and so much more. So once you're trying to book a session here, you can definitely, book a session with the advisor that you're actually assigned, or if they're unavailable, you can choose any other success advisor on our team. And then just pick a timing and a date and put in your details, and that's it. You will have booked a one-on-one call with this success advisor. So this is one of the many ways you can receive, personal support from our team. Another way is the writing lab, which Dr. Michael also mentioned before. So this isn't a Nexford course, rather it's a resource that you will always have access to. It's always going to be on Nextly. Once you go to it, you will find that it includes everything you need to know about writing. So we understand that not everybody is a natural born writer, and especially for the types of assignments and projects that you might be asked to do during your program, you might face some, formatting, such as APA formatting, different types of, projects and things that you're not used to, you haven't tried to write before. So this will help you, improve your academic writing. It'll give you all the skills that you need, even improve your English. And if you don't find, the answers that you're looking for within the writing lab, you can always book a one-on-one as well with a writing lab coach. So that's Caroline Fernandez. You can find a little intro from her here. And most importantly, a booking link as well. So you can schedule a one-on-one session with her. It'll take you to this booking session page as well. So that's 30 minutes. And you can pick, of course, any time as well and any day. So that is one way that you can have a conversation with Caroline to help you with your writing. Another way is that the announcement section, which I had showed you earlier in the call, is usually in the home page at the bottom right. It is a section, if you click on it, that will take you here. You'll find that Caroline is one of the most that's quite active here. She does a lot of announcements about drop-in sessions that she regularly holds. So these are drop-in sessions which are of course related to writing, which you can join with other learners from around the world. So if you prefer to be in a group, instead of having a one-on-one session, or you feel you might benefit from hearing different opinions and ideas and questions, definitely we recommend that you join these sessions. Sometimes they're joined, for even more than like 50 or 60 learners. We had a session where she had mentioned that she had 67 learners attend the actual drop-in session. So for these announcements, of course, you're going to receive notifications for them in your email. But also, if you download the Nexford application, you will also receive a notification on your mobile phone. So you might be wondering or hearing it for the first time that you can actually study on your phone. This is correct. I wouldn't say the application currently is fully functional in the sense that you would still need your PC or laptop to download and actually do your assignments and everything, but you can definitely study on the go. The application allows you to access your course, to study, whether you're in transportation, wherever you are. So I definitely recommend it as well. And it's a great way to stay connected with, all of your assignments and reminders and everything on your mobile phone also. All right, since we talked a lot about assignments, I just want to give a question here to Dr. Michael. Since we do have learners from all around the world, would you say it's a bit challenging to figure out the time zones for assignments, when you're trying to submit an assignment, or from your experience, is it kind of easy to figure out for our global learners?
For the deadlines of each assignment, our basis would always be the Eastern time. So whatever deadlines indicated in your modules or each assignment, for example, today is November 17th. Actually, module 2 of the courses are due today. So that's going to be the 17th of November, 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. So whatever you are in different parts of the world, you just need to go to various time zones converter and look for the time differences of your home country or your local time to the Eastern time. So we always follow Eastern time for the deadlines.
Okay, that's perfect. So I think as long as you figure out the time zone from the beginning, that doesn't change. So pretty much have it memorized from there on out. Okay, and Dr. Michael, like, how would you describe how you support learners so far while you've been at Nexford? How has that, sort of relationship been like?
Well, one thing or the first thing that I do is, of course, to be responsive. I think that's my core in establishing good relationship with my learners, given that it is already a virtual environment. So aside from the fact that I grade or provide detailed feedback in all of the submission, our support could always be done through messaging us on Teams. So every one of us would be given access to Office 365. So you can message me on Teams. You can book a one-on-one session, the one that we have shown earlier, the booking link. So that's going to be a 15-minute session with your professors, or you can send an email through the course email, or you can also send a message through the messaging system of Nexle. So pretty much there are many platforms or ways on how to reach us, on how we can assist our learners with various needs that they have.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot for sharing, Dr. Michael. And also, I just want to add, in line with this kind of support that you receive during your program at Nexford, if at any point you need a break, you feel like, something happened in your life, because we understand that, life happens and something might be completely out of your hands and you need to take a break, you can definitely request a leave of absence. So we do provide that option also with Nexford. The length of time that you're allowed or you're given varies depending on the program that you've chosen at Nexford. So for our BBA, our Bachelor of Business Administration degree program, that would be up to 8 months. For our MBA, our Master of Business Administration degree program, that would be up to 4 months. Having said that, of course, if you ever need more time for any reason, definitely share it with our team, and they're going to work side by side with you, hopefully, to maybe give you an exception or find a way to help you further, of course. All right, and finally, I want to talk about the other features here, which I mentioned earlier also are the sort of benefits you get as a Nexford learner. So you'll see that we have this library, and it's really a robust library full of, this is what we call our NXU library. You're going to have access to a ton of information, which you can use as a sort of research tool during your assignments at Nexford. You can even do it for reading if you want on the side. It can help you in your real life or your job even. You'll find that it covers so many different topics and industries around the world. So these are encyclopedias, research papers, articles, and so much more. So as you can see, there's things on aviation, business, of course, computer science, and so much more. And aside from that, there is LinkedIn Learning. So if you haven't heard already, as a Nexford learner, you actually receive unlimited access to over 16,000 LinkedIn Learning courses and videos. If you aren't familiar with LinkedIn Learning, I definitely recommend you research about it. You'll find that it's a great platform for extra learning. Some of these courses are quite short. You might find things that are only like 5 or 10 minutes. Some others are maybe up to 2 or even 4 hours. So it really varies on the topic, of course. And this is definitely optional for you if you have the time. If your time allows it, you can study side by side to your program. Otherwise, you'll find that some of these courses are actually embedded in your Nexford course as well. So they'll be there for you to sort of have extra learning. So a lot of our learners really love this extra feature. They're able to, have more certificates, via LinkedIn Learning, which they can add on their profile, and they can really show their global, community, their followers, their employers, that they are truly learning as they go. They're not just waiting to complete their program to be like, hey, I've got a certificate. No, they're actually learning skills, every day or every month that they can apply right away in their business. So aside from these LinkedIn Learning certificates, which you can receive, we also award you these digital badges. So these are Nexford digital badges that you can receive, upon completing certain courses at Nexford. They'll have titles, fun titles like data-driven decision maker. Others are like financial decision supporter. So of course, once you share this, you might be wondering, well, what does this really mean? The great thing is if you click on that, it'll actually take you to this official page by Badger, which shows everybody, anybody can access this. It can sort of describes what skills and competencies you gained to actually earn this badge. So some of our learners, I think, make it a habit to sort of, collect these badges. I think it's a great way to really encourage you during your program. And aside from that, I want to talk also about the other kind of support you receive is through our career services portal. So as a Nexford learner, you actually get access to all of this career help. So we are not only helping you by, what you're studying during your program, we actually help you with your career during and even after you graduate from Nexford. Now, how are we doing that? So of course, one of the ways I mentioned earlier is through LinkedIn Learning. So you can learn a lot of job skills, which can really help you in your career, as well as, adding all of these certificates to your CV or your resume. Aside from that, you actually get assigned a career advisor. So this is different from a success advisor. This is an advisor or a person who is specifically there to help you craft your CV, help you prepare for interviews, how to grow your career, and so much more. And if you're based in Africa, you also get access to IBM Digital Nation Africa. So this is another platform sort of like LinkedIn Learning where you can get access to other courses and videos related mostly to technology, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and so much more. And finally, there's Localized. This is one of the best platforms as well for you to sort of have a profile. You can get connected with career coaches and mentors from around the world. You can even have unlimited access to attending these virtual job fairs from around the world. It's truly a great platform also that can help you with your career. So you can definitely access this page. So that's nexford.org/career to learn more about all of these options. All right, so for anybody who's still on the call with us here, or anybody who joined late, you might not have heard me say in the beginning of the call that if you have any questions, please send them to the Q&A section so we can get to them. We'll actually jump to the Q&A section in about a minute or two. But before we wrap things up, I would just love to ask, Dr. Michael, just a final question here. If you have, from your experience so far, any advice you'd like to give to aspiring learners?
If you're looking for a new way of learning or out of the ordinary or out of the traditional, you are very busy and you wanted to try another thing. However, you are still trying to juggle your busy schedule. This is the right university or the best university for you. Again, this is fast. This is actually a self-paced online learning where we do not have any major examinations in the middle or at the end of the semester. So every assignments and projects are just given each week, and you have the opportunity to do that in your own pace and in your own time. So if you're looking for a wide opportunity to talk to global learners, not only in the Philippines, we have again, like what she said earlier, that we are visible in almost 80 countries around the world. So this is the sign. This is the sign that you could enroll to Nexford University, and this is definitely a great opportunity to advance in your careers. And there are countless opportunities that we could get out of having an MBA or BBA program with Nexford.
All right, perfect. Thanks a lot, Dr. Michael. Okay, with that, let's jump to the Q&A section. First, I see a couple of hellos here on the chat. I just like to give a nod to them. Hi, Grace from the Philippines. We have Ling from Singapore. Hi, everybody. All right, please, if you have any questions, send them to the Q&A section. But I can see a question here actually on chat. Somebody's asking, Grace is asking actually, is there a required number of hours that I need to spend studying every day? So I wouldn't say there's a required number of hours because of course, it depends on each person's ability as well, and as well as their schedule. So, you know, you might take 1 hour to complete a module at Nexford, somebody else might take 4 hours. So there isn't, I would say, a specific number of hours you need to finish in a day. It's completely up to you when to log in. You know, you can study today, you can skip 2 days, study again, you know, at the end of the week. As long as you meet the deadlines for the assignments and for the modules, and as long as you're able to complete every course at Nexford within the 8-week deadline. So how much time you put in truly depends on your ability as well as your schedule. Okay, we have a question for Dr. Michael, actually. It's an anonymous attendee is asking, what does Dr. Michael teach?
I teach both in BBA and MBA, but right now the courses that I'm handling are, number one, we have the world of business. I also handle organizational relationship and organizational strategies, some courses in entrepreneurship, and some courses in doing business in China, sub-Saharan Africa, and also some courses in marketing. Pretty much those courses.
Okay, amazing. All right, I think this is a good question for you too, Dr. Michael. Are there live sessions with the faculty? This is from an anonymous attendee.
Yep, definitely. Aside from the one-on-one session that each learner can book based on the available slots and the availability of the learners, we definitely conduct a minimum of 2 live sessions in the entire 8-week period of the course. That's going to be on the first week before the first module is due, and another one would be the last 2 weeks of the course wherein the final project is approaching. So that's going to be the minimum live session that you have, but faculty may opt to conduct weekly live session depending on their availability as well.
Okay, perfect. I have somebody on chat here. So Hayden is saying that they actually meant to have a consultation call a few weeks ago, and then they didn't receive the call, unfortunately. They tried to follow up, so they just want to know who they can follow up with. That's a great question. So you can just go on, you know, our website. You'll find in the About section all the details of how you can reach out to our team. So you'll find a way to reach out to us, whether it's at help@nexford.org, or you can chat with our advisors on WhatsApp as well. You'll find the WhatsApp number there. You can also book a consultation on our page, you know, to book another consultation call. So I would say there's so many different ways you can reach out to our team, and you'll definitely be provided the help that you're seeking. Okay, we have Jam who is asking, what would you recommend a specialization in your MBA program? So, you know, we currently have 5 specializations you can choose between in our MBA. What I would recommend really depends on, you know, what your goals are, you know, what field or industry are you most interested in? What do you hope to do with your career after you complete your MBA or even during? You know, what job are you currently working? So it really depends on a lot of things, which is why I would recommend that you reach out to our team. You'll find that we have advisors that are there specifically to help you sort of make this decision. Even if you start to study at Nexford and you're still unable to make up this decision, the great thing is that you don't have to decide on an MBA specialization before you even start learning at Nexford. So you have the option to choose your specialization towards the very end of your program. And this is because an MBA specialization is also not mandatory. You know, it's optional. If you wish to be specialized, you know, in a specific field, that is something that you can choose to do towards the end of your program. Alternatively, you can definitely just opt for a general MBA as well and choose elective courses at the end instead of specialization. So it's truly up to you, but I would say that you definitely receive the support that you need, whether it's through your success advisor or even your career advisor. So you'll have a lot of time to decide on a specialization as you're learning. And you can even top up your MBA with a second specialization. So some people definitely go for choosing 2 specializations if you can't choose, just one. All right, you're welcome, Hayden. Okay, let's see what other questions we have. So we have a question from another anonymous attendee here. I don't have a laptop. Can I study on my phone? Do you have a mobile app? So if you hadn't heard earlier, I did talk a bit about the mobile application. So you can definitely study on your phone. But however, like I said, there are some limitations on the mobile app. You would still need a laptop or a PC to be able to, to do as well as submit your assignments. So while you can study on your phone, you can study on the go. Unfortunately, you would definitely still need a PC or a laptop. Our team is working behind the scenes though to definitely have a more sort of functional, fully functional application in the near future. Okay, we have a question for Michael. Are degrees or certifications from Nexford recognized in the Philippines? Oh, sorry, Dr. Michael, you're on mute.
Sorry for that. Yep, I think I saw this question whether the degrees and certifications from Nexford is recognized in the Philippines. Well, this is actually an American degree, so definitely it should be recognized or recognized here in the Philippines. But I'd like to also answer the question whether we are accredited or registered in the Commission on Higher Education, or CHED, in the Philippines. So the answer is that Nexford is not currently CHED registered or accredited. However, we are accredited by ASIC, a UK-based international organization. We are also licensed by the HELC in the Washington, D.C., which is the same organization that licenses all physical universities operating in Washington, D.C. And QM has certified our courses for quality. We are recognized by the CMI, and we are an educational member of the International Accreditation Council for the business education, or what we call the IACBE. And you can find out more about the license and accreditation on nexford.org/accreditation. But to answer the question, we are not yet registered in CHED, but the degrees and certification is definitely recognized in the Philippines, since this is an American degree. However, our team is definitely working behind the scenes to finalize these registrations. And at the same time, if your local organizations here in the Philippines would ask for a full recognition of CHED, I think the CHED, or the Commission on Higher Education, issues what we call a certificate of equivalency. So your American degree would be equivalent to the degree here in the Philippines. So Nexford can definitely give you an assistance with that. You can contact our success advisors or our team so that we could assist you in processing your certificate of equivalency coming from CHED.
Perfect. Thanks for that information. That's super useful. Okay, I have 2 questions here regarding graduation from Nexford. So we have a question that says, is it true that we can choose to graduate in the United States, or rather attend a graduation ceremony in the USA? And we have someone else also asking, like, do we get to attend a graduation in Washington, D.C.? So to answer both of these questions, yes, you can definitely choose to attend your graduation ceremony in D.C. We are definitely working on that, in the background. Hopefully by 2022, we'll announce more details about the physical graduation ceremony, which you can attend. Please note that we will help you, of course, with an invitation letter and everything, but you will need to fund your travels and your visa and so on. Is it mandatory? No. So this is an option for you definitely to attend, in Washington, D.C. Otherwise, you can definitely still graduate at home with your family and friends, which is a great way, to celebrate your achievements as well. We're also working on hopefully holding our very first global virtual graduation in the future, also hopefully next year. So also details of which we should announce once it's done. We also do hold, local graduation ceremonies in select countries around the world where we have graduates. We've held one already in Egypt. We've held another in Nigeria. Hopefully we get to hold one in the Philippines. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for updates on that. And regarding events such as graduation, we had a question here as well. Somebody says, since the MBA will be taken on our free time, is there any way that we can meet other students or network and make friends? I'm also from the Philippines. That's a great question. So yeah, I would relate events to this as well. So we have actually held events, physical events in the Philippines a few times in the past, either this year or the year before, also in 2019. So aside from these, networking events that we occasionally hold, you will definitely be able to connect with learners during your program in so many different ways. So that can be in group projects that you've been given, in your courses or your assignments. This can also be in the discussion forums. You can chat with them, you can have a video call even with them, you can private message them, email them. Aside from that, we also have learner WhatsApp groups that you can have access to as soon as you get enrolled at Nexford. So some of these are country specific, others are program specific. So there are so many different ways that you can engage with learners. And for those that haven't applied yet or aren't on track to become an expert learner, you can definitely still already network with these learners and our global community on our Facebook group. So there's an unofficial Facebook group. I say unofficial because it's mostly led managed by our global community of learners. It's a great place for you to speak with aspiring learners as well as current learners and even Nexford alumni. You'll see a lot of great learning tips on the group. You'll find updates on their assignments and and what they're doing, how the Nexford learning experience is like so far, and so much more. So I really recommend you join the group. It's a great place to sort of get a feel of the learner environment at Nexford before you even get started. Okay, we have another question here. Are there deadlines for assignments? So yes, we definitely do. So this, you will have full information on this, of course, before you even start your program at Nexford. So you can even access this information, on our website, whether it's through, we have a university catalog, which you can download. You can even find it in the syllabus of every course. You'll be given what the exact assignment due date is for every module within the course. So for example, I'll share my screen quickly here. For example, for the world of business here, you'll find that, it has 6 modules, like I mentioned, as well as a final project. So you get 6 assignments at the end of each module, as well as a final project, all of which are graded. You can see here, for example, module 1, the assignment due date is day 10. After that, day 17, day 24, and so on. So you'll be much more familiar and used to this sort of flow and deadlines and everything once you start learning Nexford. Right. What other question do you have? Can I give this question to you, Michael? Is the live session a meeting or a webinar style?
Well, it depends on your professor. It actually happens, or both could actually happen. It could be a meeting style or a webinar type. So it would definitely depend on the approach of your professor. But usually what we do is meeting like this. So more like it's really more of a webinar type, or there are also times that it's just a very nice interaction with one another, getting to know your co-learners, and pretty much depends on the approach of your professor.
Okay, all right, perfect. And I believe that's about all of our questions. We have another question here just in regards to each course at Nexford, like do they last for 8 weeks and how long does each module usually take to finish? So I believe I just answered that. I hope you were able to see my response about that. So you'll see that, each module has a specific deadline for the assignment, but not necessarily for how fast you need to complete the module. You can definitely finish it faster, but as long as you meet the deadline for the assignments as well as the overall course deadlines. Okay, all right. So that's about it, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. We had some great questions. Definitely, if you have more questions, just feel free to send them in to help@nexford.org. You can also WhatsApp our team of advisors. You'll find so many different ways to contact our team. If you wish to have more of an in-depth view also of the Nexford learning environment, do feel free to book a one-on-one tour with me. So I provide that option for you as well. You'll find a link for that also on our website. And yeah, and for anybody who joined late, you will also receive a recording, a playback of this webinar. So don't worry at all. And yeah, I hope all of you have a great day or a great evening for those joining us from the Philippines. And thank you so much, Michael, for joining us today. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.